It is 3:30 and I will call the Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport Board meeting to order. And I note that we have a quorum present with all members here present. The second item on the agenda is the discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve the minutes of the Guthrie Edmond Regional Airport Board meeting held on April 9th, 2024. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? The minutes were sent out to you before by email. And I have reviewed the minutes and I didn't see anything, but it's entirely possible. I wrote something. Hearing no discussion, is there a motion to approve the minutes of April 9th, 2024?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Member Wallace has made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion made and seconded and laid upon the table. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all of those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Having received the majority of those appointed to and constituting the board, the motion carries. Item number 3 is discussion, consideration, and possible action to approve the monthly financials, which were also emailed out to you prior to the meeting. I've reviewed the financials. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the monthly financials? Okay, there's been a motion made by Board Member Williams, seconded by Mr. Young. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Having received a majority of those appointed to and constituting the board, the motion carries. Item number 4, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding hangar site 23C. I will ask Director Young for his report on 23C.
So at the last airport board meeting, the board approved the removal of the unauthorized concrete along the south portion of hangar number 23C connecting to taxiway Delta. Dylan Ripley has since removed the concrete and sodded the area back to its original lease boundaries. Those are pictures taken this morning out of the area. You can see that it's been returned back to its original state. Ripley has also completed with most of his hangar. This time he's awaiting OG&E and a final inspection performed by the city planning department. But he invited me to his hangar this morning, went through it, and it looks like he has completed most of the work that the board has requested of him at this time. Mr. Ripley is also here today to answer any questions that the board may have.
Mr. Ripley?
Yes, sir.
You have anything that you want to add to? No?
Nothing more than Mr. Caden has given you an update on.
Okay. All right. Is there any questions, comments, or discussion from the board members? Hearing none, I think that you're in compliance, and I don't think there's any action needed on this item at this time. If that's acceptable to staff, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So no action will be taken on item number 4. We will move on to item number 5, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding hangar site 23. Director Young.
Last October, Diversified Construction, represented today by Brad Latham, was approved to construct a 50 by 80 hangar west of hangar site 23B. In late November, early December, they found out that the water line was a 12-inch line instead of an 8-inch line. That has delayed the construction process because they have to go through additional DEQ approval. Given that the lease stipulates that this hangar be constructed by August 8th, they have already ordered the building supplies, which have been provided to my office for confirmation. This is the receipt that they provided me, as well as the supplies that have been shipped and ordered and ready to be moved to the site pending the DEQ approval. I confirmed everything with City Planning Director Dan Kasich. They've also been working closely with Timmy Maker, the Public Works Director, to see to its construction. The reason they are on the agenda today is that their lease agreement stipulates that they commence construction within 6 months, and we are now past that period. So I wanted to provide an update as to where we're at. Mr. Latham also provided me with this timeline of everything that he's done from the approval of the lease agreement to today. And so, and Mr. Latham is here as well to answer any questions that the board might have.
It's my understanding from the planning office, from Mr. Kasich, that the permits have been pulled for that. Is that correct?
He's currently awaiting the DEQ approval. So,
Okay.
everything's been met and turned in.
Any questions from the board?
I have them.
Go ahead.
The picture there that showed all the materials, supplies,
Yes, sir.
are they on site?
No, sir, they're at our facility at I-35 in Waterloo. That's my construction. We have a storage facility there.
The reason I asked, the season that we're in,
Yes, sir.
stuff like that, if you get some high winds, it can be picked up and scattered a lot of places, and cause a lot of damage.
Yeah, we changed the shipping address to our office at the last minute because originally we had intended to bring it to the site, but we didn't want the debris out there cluttered around the airport. So we opted to keep the airport as clean as possible.
Good idea. Thank you.
Brad, what's, assuming DEQ approval was today, what would the construction timeline look like to meet the building completion?
It'll be a little quicker than we originally planned. I think original was about 120 days. Since we have all the material ready to go, I'm anticipating that it's going to be a surprise when we get the permit. It could be tomorrow, it could be 3 months from now, and then you'll have to coordinate with my subs at that point because I'll have to pull them off of other jobs. I'm anticipating 2 or 3 weeks to start after that point, and then it'll probably take us, I'm going to guess 3 months once we actually start.
Okay, so, the timeline is DEQ approval plus 2 weeks plus, 3 months. Is that right?
Roughly.
Okay.
And
Very.
you don't, when you, I think you've asked me to do it, I haven't been back yet. The process.
We went through the process and then I think 2 weeks ago, they contacted us with an approval. We thought we were good to go. And then they told us that we were administratively approved, which meaning we didn't pass the administrative process, but not through the technical committee. So, we don't know how long that will take. The problem is it's a 12-inch line. Once you get over a 12-inch municipal water line, the DEP gets involved. Originally, we thought it was an 8-inch line. I didn't have access to that information at the time. We thought it was an 8. And we got through all the approval process. I think we actually got our building permit approved. And then we found out that it was a 12-inch line. So then we had to hire an engineer, hydraulic analysis reports, another full set of engineer drawings just to relocate the water.
Okay, so to be clear, you're not building over the top of the water line, relocated the water line, then the heater won't be over the top of it.
Correct. Okay. Yes.
Is that time frame the keyboard?
Yes, sir. Assuming no delays, subcontractors and schedule. That's it.
Are there any further questions? I guess I would entertain a motion to extend the construction on hangar site 23E with the start date you think it'll take 3 months to go through the technical committee?
I don't think so. If I were to guess, I would say 2 or 3 weeks. But I have no idea.
Would a 4-month extension be sufficient time from the current deadline to get you where you want to go?
That would be more than adequate, and if it's not, then we can have another meeting.
Okay. So, an extension to the September 2024 meeting and potential for it to return on the docket should that not be sufficient because of the environmental quality requirements. So is that the motion?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a motion made to extend the deadline to start construction to at least the September 2024 meeting. The specific dates on that.
What was the original deadline? Okay, what was
The 6 month period was actually last month. But they're required to complete it 120 days after they commence construction. And so that put them in August. So that the deadline was August 8th, I believe, was the final date.
All right, so it'll be September 10th. Or commencement of construction with a 180-day deadline for completion. Is that enough time, given the fact that you'll have to do the 10-inch line?
So those medians, get that landscaping fixed up.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
You wouldn't tell me yesterday anything he wanted to talk.
Everybody drives up the oak tree.
Do you in fact know him personally?
No.
He muted himself, so we're. Okay.
Okay, so just for clarity, the motion is a start date of September tenth. And then an additional 120 days to complete. It's another 4 months to complete. Yeah.
There's been a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a motion made, second, laid upon the table. Is there any further discussion from the board members? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, having received the majority of those appointed to constituting. Are we still recording?
Yes, we are. It's
I just want to make sure that we're still on. The motion carries. Item number 6, discussion, consideration, and possible action to transfer the assignment of lease for hangar number 15 from Michael Ross Cook to Alpine Aviation LLC.
Yes, so this is going to be just a very simple lease assignment. I put hangar 15 in yellow. I know it's probably difficult to see. So a few months ago, the board approved the lease assignment from Robert Bob Conrad, who was the previous owner of hangar 15. He had some medical issues, was unable to renew his medical certificate to fly. And so he sold it to Michael Ross Cockey, and Michael Ross Cockey was going to put a plane in it. But he's decided to sell to Al Lavenu, who is a current tenant at the airport, a longtime tenant, I believe. He's the owner, of course, of Alpine Aviation LLC, which this will be transferring to. He is aware of he's aware of all of the standards that tenants must follow. He's aware that of the lease deadline that will be returning to the city. It's a leasehold that is, I think, 1,600 square feet. It's $325 a year in ground lease revenue provided by hangar 15. But that was just a very simple transfer that's put for the board today.
And when does that lease come in?
I don't have that information with me at present, but I can certainly let you know.
All right. And that's a non-commercial hangar.
Non-commercial, just a private hangar. I actually, I was at the OAOA conference when he called me about this, and we discussed the term. It still has quite a large amount of time on it. My concern is that, sometimes people purchase hangars on airports without knowing how long their term is. And so then they purchase it and they realize they only have maybe 5-6 more years on it. And that's obviously a large issue. And that wasn't the case with hangar 15. So.
There a motion to approve the transfer of the assignment of lease?
Motion that we approve the assignment of the transfer of the lease.
Okay. Number 15 for Michael Ross, copy to Alpine Aviation LLC. Is there a second? Second. There's been a motion made and second laid upon the table. Is there further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Having received the majority of those elected or appointed to and constituting the board, the motion carries. Item number 7, the airport director.
So in the last few meetings, we've been talking about PAPI maintenance. We continue to work on those, and we've ordered additional lights. We actually ordered quite a bit to have in stock for the future. We just didn't want to be in that bind, of course, where you need to replace multiple legs at once, you know, having them. On April 18th, new seasonal employee William Mims started at the airport. And so it's been a huge help. We've been able to keep up with all of the mowing at the airport. It's no longer a situation where you mow the runways and taxiways and you get all the way to the hangars. And then by the time you get to the hangars, you need to start the runway again. We're finally getting a hold on it. He's been a big asset to the airport staff. Regularly meeting with stakeholders regarding the upcoming airport summer fly-in. My preliminary date for that's going to be Saturday, September 7th, 2024. I've had to balance that with other community events, other aviation events across the state, and make sure that we weren't, overlapping on anything there. So I hope that you all are able to attend, and I'll have more details on that at a future meeting. Attended the Oklahoma Airport Operators Association Conference on April 14th to the 17th, so that was really exciting. I am working with the staff to conduct inspections of hangars around the airport. These are just going to be random inspections, hoping to just break it up into pieces around the airport, so we're not just inspecting, over 50 hangars in a week or something like that. I'm looking to start with T Hangar 10. Now it gets a little tricky, of course, because there's a lessee and there's a sub-lessee. So I'm working with both of them to schedule a time where the sub-lessee can come out and be there while we perform the inspections, just make sure that everything's up to standard. And so that'll be something that if you're a base tenant out here, you may be hearing from us soon, or we may get to down the list in a few months from now, but we're hoping to hit all the hangars at some point. Environmental review for the FAA project has been submitted to the ADO as part of the taxiway realignment process. So we were happy to get that going for that project coming up this year. We did schedule a Hawaiian food truck to come out on May 8th. I wanted to share this with you as well. We're about to post this on our sites. This is the schedule of food trucks that we have coming out to the airport every other Wednesday. It's been great having, if it's the FBO staff, if it's Zipco's employees have been coming down and going to the food trucks. It was a popular event. We did it only, I think, once or twice last year, but this year I've had some more time to get those on the schedule for us out here. Just kind of promote the airport. I do ask these food trucks to share with me their sales data, so I can kind of figure out, even for the fly-in, what's a popular food truck to bring out, but what's also how much are people coming out to the airport to eat. I don't know if that data is particularly helpful when it comes to wanting an airport restaurant, but we know that that's something that we want further down the line. And so maybe it's just a psychological thing of getting people used to coming out to the airport to eat. But nonetheless, I've been glad to put on those events. I'm excited for the food trucks to come.
And there's one tomorrow.
And one tomorrow, yes, one tomorrow from 11 to 2. So I think that's all I have for my director's report today. I'm going to yield back to the chair.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Request comments number 8 from the airport's board members. Member Young. Dr. Golightly. We have a new member, Walt Strong, who's joining us as an Edmond representative. Welcome to the board. Do you have anything that you would like to say?
Please bear with me while I learn.
We're a patient group, trust me. Member Wallace, Councilman Williams.
I really like and agree with your perspective on this lunch at the airport. I'm here focused on that and excited to hear the results myself.
The Vice Chairman.
I just had a quick question. I should ask probably in a regular session, and that was, did we have any success as far as our electrical repairs on the photos and the batteries?
So they're going to come out. I'm actually working with them right now. Been on the phone with them for many hours today. They're going to be coming out in mid-June. They're working on, we're trying to figure out what exactly is broken, so there's less that they need to figure out on site. Because they're charging a hefty amount per day. And so their mobilization fee itself, I think, is $2,500. Now, we did have those excess funds of the airport truck fund to use to go towards that project. But currently, I think it's station number 3 is the light on top of the pole is completely missing. And there's some damage to the electrical box at the bottom of that pole. And so I think all other 7 total units, I'll say, are all 6 other ones are in good condition. I think it's that 3rd one that's causing the most issues. They're just trying, I want to get them as much information as they can before they come out. So, but that is being scheduled. Thank you for following up.
Yeah, thank you. That's all. Thank you. What about, I think I mentioned this one time before, when I've been up, I've noticed that the beacon is white rather than white blue. Has that been looked at? See?
Yes, so we reached out to Wise Electric and they told me a vendor that they would use, that they recommended to replace that or look at that. So we're following up with them. I actually am, Wise is going to be coming out here soon because the PAPIs on the 3-4 end are not dimming at night. And I have a lot of pilots calling and complaining that it's just so bright, it's getting in the way of their landing. So while Wise is out here looking at that, I wanted them to take another look at our beacon and follow up on that. That's all I. Go ahead. Yeah.
Why did it go one? Did the green lens get shot out or something?
I'm not entirely sure. I won't sit here and pretend like I know a whole lot about airfield electric and all the different kind of lighting systems that we have. I'm not sure why we're getting that effect on the beacon. No, we didn't answer for you. But I'll certainly look into it with Wise Electric before the next board.
But does the city have an electrician that could come out and eyeball and stuff?
We typically outsource to either Gooch Smith or Wise Electric. Wise Electric is the common electrician that comes out on behalf of the city for airport related needs. So.
Sorry, folks, I got a lot of questions running into my brain about that. Okay. Should it be just the lamps from your? I think it should be white green. If the green lens suddenly goes, how can a green lens? Because it's truly green, it's not just painted. The green lens should be green. And I don't know how it can go white unless it's been broken, fallen off, something that exposes the bulb that's shining through that lens is not exposed. It should be green, so that's why it doesn't. I don't know. I've got a lot of experience, and that just doesn't. It doesn't make sense in my brain unless somebody playing games with a BB gun or a 22 or something shot the lens and broke it, and then you would go white. And also, I may have recommended to you Libra Electric.
Yes, and I've reached out to them as well. Wise was able to get, we were able to get Wise on our schedule more quickly, but we did reach out to them.
Yeah. Okay. Because they got tons of experience doing airfield lighting in the open city area. So we use they're very good at what they do. And it's a bit amusing to me that they charge you a $2,500 just to come to the airport fee.
Yes, so the story behind Flash Technologies is that Wise did not want to work on the ovals. So Wise told my predecessor that Flash Technologies was the one to use for an oval system. And so I had looked around at a bunch of different other companies to see who's going to work on ovals, and it kept just coming back to Flash Technologies. And they were a hefty price. And so it was kind of one of those sole source options for odal lighting that we had. I can certainly, look into Libra and see if they can do it. I believe I contacted them. There was a reason they mentioned, not being able to do so, but I'm happy to restart that conversation again.
Did you ask your aeronautics commission staff? They were the ones that pressed those odals in the service for airports all across the state.
I've been working with our airport engineer, Toby Baker, to decide if, given the extensive amount of work that might need to be done on the odals, if we could go with anything else, like a mouse or something like that. But I haven't had those discussions with the ODA.
Do we have any instrument fire? Do you get a credit for odals? Do they
For insurance?
reduce your minimums any? From like 503 to 100.5? So, follow what I'm saying?
I assume they just.
If you're flying instruments, if it's a precision lighting system, then it'll give you a lower ceiling and less visibility
And I would look
on the approach.
actually.
What I'm getting at is it's $25 million to fix the odals, you might want to pass. If it doesn't provide you any instrument benefit. Sorry, I'm getting.
Let's look at the, look at the approach. Let's see. I was just probably added switch invited. I don't see a difference in the lighting. There's a difference for the circling, obviously. Right, yeah, it's 1540.
Probably digging into too many areas that don't need to be discussed right now.
I don't know that lighting reduces the minimums. I don't remember that from the exam, actually, but that is a question. If there's nothing else, item number 9 is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? So that one adjourn? There's a motion made. Is there a second? Second. Okay, there's a motion made and seconded. There's no debate on adjourn. All those in favor. Aye. Any opposed? Nay. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. This is the majority that was appointed to the hospital board. We are.